Attention all passengers, this is Mr. Cool Beans, your captain speaking. Welcome to the Chronic Brew Airlines Flight 27. We're currently at the gate preparing for a non-stop journey across the Atlantic. Today, we're heading to the Netherlands to meet with a very special guest. She was a high-achieving medical student who looked like she had it all together, but behind the scenes, her health was grounded. She spent over $30,000 and years of deep work to move from a place of chronic isolation to a life of intensive health protocols and authentic spirituality. Today, she's showing us how to stop adding to our lives and start removing what isn't ours. So please make sure that your seat backs and trays are in upright and locked positions. We're about to take off with Carlijn Krijger. Stay tuned. Your brew is being served at over 30,000 feet.
I didn't have the strength that I have now. That's when you really need people.
People who could understand.
It really did make a difference.
So finding that community, finding that tribe.
Or in that realm of chronic illness and stuff.
I barely go through it because I'd be so focused.
Never thought in a million years that would have to happen to me.
All those emotions are valid. Yeah. Every last one of them.
I was at a low point.
Just kind of removing the stigma.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Chronic Brew. And we're back. I am so excited to be sitting across the table from Carlijn Krijger. Carlijn, I've been looking forward to this brew for a very long time. I just want to welcome you to the show and thank you for being here with me.
Thank you, and I'm super excited.
Now, before we get into the deep stuff, your journey through medical school and everything that followed, I'm going to bring on our little tradition here that we have called the first sip. It's a quick way to break the ice and get everything and the energy moving, all right? Carlijn, back in your medical school days, your life was probably organized down to the minute. What's something you've completely changed your mind about in the last year that would have absolutely shocked you as a medical student?
Very good question. I'd say that it's really not important how my life looks like to others.
Let's explore that a little bit. What do you mean by that?
So back in the day when I used to study veterinary medicine, I was really concerned with how my life looked like. And that was the idea that I had around the word aesthetics. So I'd make it look very good. I would always make selfies and make sure that I look at my best and really put a proper mask for the world around me. You understand? And right now let's say my viewpoint, the way that I look at it has completely shifted 180 degrees. So now I'm making things for others to look at, but not as a way to protect myself. I'm really intending to show myself to people and not the mask.
Wow. Yeah.
And sometimes I forget and the mask kicks in, but yes, the aesthetics that I once thought that I was making are now the way that I make my own world beautiful. You understand?
Wow.
So I don't need to be beautiful, I make things beautiful. Make sense? Yeah.
Authenticity.
Yeah. I'm authentic, I can show my actual self. But it's the recognition that you cannot really be hurt, so why would you need to protect yourself? Yes.
So that's the version of you would cringe about if you told yourself back then, hey, be more authentic. you would probably rip your hair off. Okay.
I would be yes, be more authentic. Yes, be more authentic. And then the moment I really needed to be authentic, and the moment that there was an opportunity to actually show up, I would say oh no, because it would be kind of scary to me, because I thought that there would be something wrong with me, or that I could be be destroyed, but that's not true. I can just be there, there's nothing wrong with it. Whereas most people, they've been convinced all of their life that there's something wrong with them. So when you ask them to step up, they immediately have this whole mechanism of their mind crashing down on them that is not safe, or that is not good, or that they're going to harm someone else, that there's something wrong with them. So it's really hard to get rid of that idea, and but it's the truth. It's really
Yeah.
true.
Now, and we didn't even get to the questions yet, but this is good stuff.
No.
Now I have a follow up. Now, in
Yeah.
your authentic presentation of who you are through your journey, have you seen a shift where more people are gravitating towards you versus the makeup and all of that? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Complete shift. My income 5x'd. I have the most incredible people around me, like really powerful people, really amazing people, strong people, friends, old friends come back to me and say like, hey, I need your help. Yeah, everything turns around. Really, when you change, everything changes. It's really true. It's not a cliche, it's really true.
Yeah, it's so interesting how our perspectives shift when we stop trying to fit into a box, right? Um, Carlijn, if we go back about 4 or 5 years, you were in medical school, getting the grades, and looking like you had it all figured out, right? Looking back now, do you feel like there were any little bitter warning signs that you were ignoring because you were so focused on the goals?
Mm, yes, it weren't signs. It were more like my own decisions
Mm,
to start isolating myself a little bit more. Start isolating myself a little bit more, a little bit more. No to
mm,
this party. Like I'm not saying that everyone needs to go party, but just like the intention to try and hide, to try and do less, do less, do less, and that slowly caused a decline for me and the
mm,
people around me, and my health and my whole life really. So it was not really what like the signs and like the around me, they came later, but it was my decision before that I had like, oh my god, I don't need to do this, or I'll say no to this person, or I don't want to help this person, and you're just more and more and more unwilling, and then you're looking around and you're pointing fingers, but really the decision was mine before.
you mentioned that suddenly everything changed. You talked about in our previous conversations, losing your period, your menstrual cycle,
Mhm. Yeah.
the anxiety, the rashes. When the first wave of symptoms hit you, like I'm pretty sure like a ton of bricks, did you try to use your medical training that you got from school to fix yourself, or did you realize right away that this was something deeper than a textbook could even explain?
Mm. The symptoms didn't hit me like a brick wall. They actually hit me with feathers and more feathers and feathers until I
Ah,
couldn't breathe because of the feathers. Like it's very slowly, and you don't notice. So that is the issue with many people, is that they either suddenly fall sick and they panic, or it takes them so long to decline and suddenly they're like, where am I?
hmm,
So that's what the second thing is, what happened with me. So that was one of the let's say the problems with it, because I didn't notice the decline.
right.
So that was one thing. Oh,
I
if I
would,
use my medical knowledge, no, I did not, because I couldn't use my medical knowledge. I had studied for 3 years. I knew anatomy, I know functional stuff, but I couldn't, like, if you are in medical school, you basically are learning to prescribe medicine. That's why it's called medicine.
right.
So you're not really learning health. You're learning physiology, and then you're learning medicine. So no, I could not.
And that's scary because like you're learning in the field and you're now the patient, probably the patient that you're probably ending up reading about later on in the textbooks. How was that feeling for you? How was that to know like you're studying you're studying to be someone in the medical field, but then here you are right now in real time going through something in your body that is changing everything around you.
Yeah, so I started, I was actually in veterinary medicine, so I was studying for animals. So I started with the idea, because I used to do horse riding a lot. I love horse. And I had my own horses. I was very active with show jumping and all these things. And at one point in time, my horse got a tendon issue, was some kind of injury. And the veterinarian came and he made this ultrasounds and these pictures, like the X-rays. And I was like, oh my God, that's beautiful. I want to do that myself. And I love animals. I love taking care of animals. So that's why I started veterinary medicine. I never considered I would have an issue with myself because I've always been very healthy, very thin, very everything. So yeah, by the way, my parents always had like fresh foods, never anything processed, things from the garden. Like I lived a very healthy life. And yeah, so I started veterinary medicine. And after 3 years, and after internships, I really realized that med school is not health, is not really care. Like a part of it is, and it's not the art of pictures. It's really just prescribing medicine to handle symptoms. And I know people hear this a lot on the internet right now, and it's becoming a bigger and bigger topic, but it's really true. And actually 70% of medical studies are already paid for. The results are already paid for, that is the result. There's a whole rabbit hole that we're not going to get into right now, but I saw that firsthand. And meanwhile, I was learning all of these things about holistic health, and I was doing things with my own body. And I just couldn't, like, there was just such a dissonance between what I was learning in school and what I was experiencing myself.
Right.
And I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I learning this? I could also just start a business online and make money from my laptop and travel and teach people what's actually going on in their bodies. And so I started doing that. But yeah, that's med school. Yeah, I don't know how we came on to that.
This is good because now it makes sense because there's such a gap when it comes to like helping folks with chronic conditions. You realize really fast that a lot of the folks that you go to as a physician, they don't know a lot about your condition because probably a lot of their training is just to prescribe a pill or some kind of medicine to kind of curb the symptoms a little bit, but not necessarily helping to treat. Chronic illness can be so isolating. You mentioned isolating yourself, more and more as you lost your libido and your joy. What was going through your head during those months when you felt like you didn't know who you were anymore?
So there was actually a lot of invalidation there. I had a lot of criticism towards my friends. I had a lot of criticism towards myself, a lot of criticism towards my body, a lot of criticism towards my parents. Just constantly this voice of bad. Like it was constantly focused on the things that weren't good. So yeah, that's what it was. And so I believed I needed to isolate myself from these bad things. So my friends weren't good people, so I shouldn't hang out with them. Or my parents aren't good people, so I shouldn't come back to their home because I was I lived out of the house, right?
Right.
So yeah, there was just a lot of invalidation, and I see that with a lot of my clients who come to me who have a lot of problems. They always are invalidating everything, their body, themselves, the people around them. And that's not a judgment. That is really how the mind operates. And it's something you need to learn how to get around. Because once you stop doing that, there's nothing bad anymore. Like you can suddenly heal, because actually what happens when you're putting that invalidation, when you're constantly saying wrong, you're having your complete attention. You're literally creating more bad, you see? And then you have resistance towards that, and then it gets worse because of the resistance, and it's a vicious downward spiral.
A super vicious cycle. Yeah, I was actually going to ask that. I was going to ask, Was all of that invalidation more? Did you feel like that was a protective mechanism for you from the judgment out there of what people might think of you with what's going on with you? Or did you even get any negativity from people who heard what you were going through and just kind of imposed that on you?
Um, no, it was really my own negativity, really. And so I got it back.
Mm,
Um, so, a protective mechanism, I don't know. But I just had this lie that you fix things by looking at what's wrong with it. I
mm,
really thought that it was a good thing to find out the bad.
mm. Until you realize looking at the bad just did more bad.
Well, yeah, my mentor had to tell me many, 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 many times, and still it is hard because it's so automatic to point out the bad, 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 bad. Because we're trying to help, we're trying to fix things, and we're just like, we look at the good and it's like, oh, it's good, it doesn't need fixing.
Mm,
But our attention starts on being like correcting the bad instead of creating more good.
yeah.
You understand?
Oh yeah.
And it's a really, really hideous trap that everyone has. Everyone.
Mm.
It's unbelievable.
We tend to focus more on the negative to keep ourselves grounded as a protective. Like this is my chair. I'm sitting here. Don't take this
We
away from
really
me, kind of
think
deal.
it works. Yeah, we really think it works. And actually, things first get better before they get worse. Before I can break this hairband, I need to have a hairband first. They actually get better before they get worse. So, yeah. And if you just create more better, 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 then the worst cannot keep up. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but this is a
Ah,
major thing. Yeah, and a major lie that people believe.
fall trapped to for sure. Then you have the what I consider the kindergarten phase. The trial and error. A lot of people listening are in this doing phase. The journals,
Yeah,
the supplements. The basic
yeah.
workouts.
Mhm.
You called this the kindergarten of evolution. Why do you think those things, while helpful, weren't enough to give you the quantum leap you were looking for?
I would say this is a big, big, big topic. And for some people, the things that they're doing are actually helping them and they should continue them. Like, it's not that it's not good enough. Okay? You should continue doing that. Anything that works, continue doing it. Right? So I don't want to say that anything that someone's doing in terms of what I call kindergarten is wrong. Okay? It's really the place to start, really. And I still do these things. I still do. But if you do not learn how this universe actually works, if you don't learn and have help from someone else to look at certain triggers that you had in your childhood and you made a decision from that and now your whole life looks like that. If you don't have help from someone else who can point out, like, look at this, look at this, look at this. If you're doing everything yourself, and if you have no one to that can actually hold the space for you, so you can, for the first time, say what you actually feel, or for the first time, say what you actually think to someone, and for someone to not react at all.
Yeah.
That is invaluable, and you need that. That's where, for me, everything changed once I started having people that actually could handle me. And so I started to realize that I cannot harm someone else, and so I can express myself. And I started to realize that other people actually understand me. And so I could express myself a little bit more, and I could express myself better so other people also understand. And it's something that's really needed, is to have someone that helps you do that. I still have a mentor that helps me with that. And I will always have someone that is by my side. And right now I've been with this person for so long. And he teaches me how to do it for others. And it's a beautiful thing. And that is where the real work happens, for sure.
Yeah, having a solid sense of community. I just want to say, this is off topic, but shout out to the Chronic Comfort Club. This is a group of amazing folks with different comorbidities that just get together and they share and we
Yeah.
talk. We don't judge. We give each other advice, all kinds of cool stuff. Shouts out to them. And I continue to echo what you just said, because it's so important for us to have a sense of community where we can feel like we can share without feeling judged. Because when we try to explain this, to many folks, like, hey, this is what I'm going through. I'm frustrated. I'm mad. I can't believe this is happening. I feel like my life is being stripped away from me. You're instantly met with either, words that are, not necessarily, comforting, or you get the what's the word, the advice that you didn't really ask for, and it's just like, just listen to me. So it's just big shout out to the people who come alongside us and just listen
Exactly.
without judging.
Exactly. You need someone who listens, who understands, and who also gets you to look at certain things, that can ask you questions that you're like,
yeah
right?
Make you
Yeah.
look at yourself, look in the mirror a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to bring this up, okay? Your investment with who you are. I think everybody should invest in themselves. Everyone should, whether it's investing in your physical health, investing in your mental health, investing in your emotional health. But Carlijn, spending $30,000 on your growth is a massive commitment. Kudos to you. Was there a specific moment of frustration, a spilled coffee moment, if you will, where you decided you were willing to do whatever it took to just stop managing symptoms and start actually evolving?
Well, I just wanted my life more than I wanted money, first of all.
Yeah.
And money is nothing when you cannot use it to help. So
money is just a tool at that point.
Yes, and I wrote that when a couple months ago I spent a lot more at this point in time, and I don't regret it, because it serves me very well, and that's what money is for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why wouldn't I? Why would I let a number tell me what to do?
I think on a day-to-day, the average person, they contemplate those things. Even down to the point where, okay, here's a light bill and here's my prescriptions. Which one should I balance out? Well, if I pay the light bill, I'll have energy in the house. My food in the refrigerator will get properly stored. But then if I don't pay for my prescription, what happens to my health? And I think we have to think along the lines of, well, what's more important, the life or the temporal things that are going to be disconnected until you can rebound? I wish a lot of us, and even in our younger days, we would take that approach as well, because even in our young states, like when we're super young, we feel like we're invincible, and we're like, right now we don't need to spend money on our health. We're good. But you realize as you get older, you spend more money on your health than anything. Well, what if the investment started off when you were younger? You know what I mean? Because nothing can replace the life. You can't spend $30,000 to regain life after you're gone. So take that 30 grand, put it into your life now to preserve it. Money is a tool. Use it to that advantage.
Yeah, you can make it back. Like
yeah, and that's the fear, right? If I let this go now, I'll never get it again. But that we've proven time and time again that that's not the case. We've probably spent more than $1 million just up to this point in our lives, not knowing that every single thing that we put money towards, has accumulated to that amount. So what if we just kind of realize the more we let go, it'll come back to us in a sense. Speaking of letting go, I think you've mastered this art of letting go called, removing lies. I like the perspective because, you have this beautiful perspective that healing is about removing rather than adding on, kind of storing and, mongering everything. For those of us who feel like we need to buy one more thing or try one more diet, to get healthy, what were some of the biggest lies or false ideas you had to physically and mentally let go of? I'm curious.
One big thing that I had to let go of, and I'm still letting go of each and every moment, is my mind. Like, there's a voice that's constantly looking at the past. That's your mind is actually just a collection of past pictures. So a lot of people are constantly looking at that. They're constantly driving, but they're looking backwards.
Looking in the rearview mirror, yeah.
Yeah. But not just in the river, like really like back like this.
Oh, that's not safe
at all. No, it is not. People don't look at what's in front of them. They already look at the past, and they compare it to what's there, and they completely misjudge the situation, and they completely color it in a completely different way than the thing was intended. For example, you're having a conversation with your mom or with someone you know, and he or she says something, and that triggers one of your pictures, and then you immediately react from your pictures, but that person said maybe something completely different in that context, and you just don't see it. There's so many opportunities right in front of your nose, you just don't see it.
Wow.
People just don't see it. And so, but the hard thing is that these pictures, they're everything for us. Like, they're memories. Like,
they're sentimental.
Ours. Like, this is our life, and my beautiful past. Like, it's something it's really hard to let go of. So that is for me the hardest thing to actually let go of. I let go of a lot, and but it's a game. It's a continuous game. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna take a side quest there. We're gonna because that is probably the capstone of any journey. You know, whether it just be a transition. I love how you mentioned how it's our pictures. You know, memories, our past is our pictures. It's the sentimental stuff. It's all the things that help to create who we are and were, depending on where we are.
Think we are. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, the reason why I feel like that is the hardest to truly and truly let go is because, for example, I'm 36, right? I have only been given this diagnosis for 2 years now. Now, I have to consider the past 34 years where I've lived this existence, where I've been building, you know, empires in my life, and, you know, building communities, building memories, building laughter, building favorite TV shows and favorite coffee, right? I've been doing a lot of that stuff. And then now, these past 2 years now is almost like the infant stage where I'm building, but then I'm saying to myself, well, I already had a foundation. This was me. This was my energy. This was, and now I'm faced with the mirror. I'm constantly in the mirror looking at who I am, and it always looks like the guy who was there 34 years ago, you know? And in regards to the side quest, when you're faced with the comparison, how do you reconcile, you know, who you are now in terms of things that you enjoy? Are you still enjoying the things that you were doing before, or did it now have to look different? Are you still that bubbly person, or is there a maturity factor that came into play now that the other person that you felt like you were was ignorant to? How do you reconcile who you were in the mirror?
Well,
I know that was a lot.
I'm just me. I'm still me.
Right.
Nothing ever changed about me. You know, my body maybe changed, my mind changed, everything else changed, but I'm still me. And the journey that people are on, they think they're getting somewhere, but the actual thing that you're doing is you're coming back to yourself. When this would when this would be like your start of your life, you accumulate a lot of experiences.
Right.
But before the start, that's where you are. You're your source. So you became before. Present time is not this moment right now, because when I say this moment, it's already gone.
Yeah.
Present time is before time.
Right.
So you're basically, what you're doing when you're doing spiritual work is you're removing the experiences, and you're removing the past. You're removing things that you thought were true because of your experience, which were just your interpretations, right? You're removing lies, you're removing ideas, you're removing considerations you have about life. And what you're left with is you.
Wow, it's like it's peeling back the onion to find the true core of yourself.
Yes, exactly. That's why I say any work that you're doing should be around removing, because you're perfect. Like, you can put anything there, but because of all of the things that you say, like, okay, cannot do this, cannot do this, cannot do this, but now you cannot do it.
Wow.
What you should do is not create another agreement, but you should remove all of these things, and then what you're left with is
This is profound because
yes.
sometimes we carry a lot on us, personality types. We carry so
Yeah.
much, and in the midst of chaos, right, when our life takes a complete turn, when we talk about a diagnosis, right, we try to add on more things on top of what we have, but then
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
let go part, now that I think about, like, who I was before the diagnosis, right? It's like that was stripped away from me. Why? Okay, my identity now is being attacked, right? I was this guy. I was that, da 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 da. Everything started to be peeled back. But then here I am trying to now add on more things. But maybe the true internal healing, that emotional healing or the mental healing, is continue allow things to fall off just so you can discover who you are. And then maybe when you discover who you really are at the center, at the nucleus, then you can build from there. Man, okay. Oh, Carlijn, okay. All right.
Yeah, it was deep.
Yeah.
Hey listeners, this is Michelle and you're listening to the Chronic Brew podcast.
You moved from the world of medicine school into what you call badass healthcare protocols and authentic spirituality, which we just explored. How did you bridge that gap? How did cleaning up your physical body change the way you felt spiritually?
Yeah, good question. It's a very interesting experience. Basically, I'm still finding ways how to explain it in words because the experience is so different for everyone. But I can say for maybe specifically parasites, a lot of people talk about parasite cleansing right now. Maybe you've heard of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. Everybody's talking about it.
Lots of fun. And I did a couple of those. And you can really, like, to just talk about the spiritual aspect of, for example, detoxing, you can really, really, really feel more like yourself. Why? Because if you have parasites, you basically have other spirits and you have other beings constantly with you. Those are not you.
Yeah.
And so when you kill them, when you get rid of them, what's left is you.
It's you.
Right? So that was a very enlightening experience for me. And I would say overall, taking care of my health, improving nerve function, improving brain function, synchronizing the body more with nature, with daily rhythms, has really allowed me to process things further and better. Like, I'm better able to see, like, my eyesight is literally better, but also like seeing in a spiritual way, like seeing how people, where people are emotionally, like it's more tangible when your machine is more solid, strong, and well working. It's easier to do the spiritual work because you just have more of a grounded base. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm still chewing on the peel back the onion to get to the center core. That is profound. And I'll tell you right now, man, I know a lot of people who they reflect on the before person, like, why did this happen to me? Well, if I knew this, I probably should have done everything that I needed to do as a young person before, just to enjoy whatever. And it's like, I think we're missing the magic, like, maybe this is beneficial. Maybe you do need to let go a lot of these things just so you can truly be in tune with you, the true core essence of who you are. There's beauty in that. There's healing in that.
You still can.
Yeah.
Because you as a spirit, you don't age. Your body does, and you accumulate a lot of pictures, but you can get the childlike wow back. I say it because it's true for me, and I see it in the people that I work with, in my friends and family. They literally de-age. They become younger, literally. You see it, and you can do that. right? It's not something that, once I was a kid, everything was nice. It was nice because of a specific reason, and the reason is because you didn't have a lot of considerations about anything. You just went. You didn't need protection until someone told you that you need protection, and suddenly you're like, oh, okay, maybe I need to be careful, right? So that's your nature. It's never lost.
Okay, let's dive into that sense of rebirth, right? And with everyone, that has a particular health journey, you lose your joy for a while, but then you find it again. For the woman listening who feels like her, illness has stolen her personality and her light, what does life look like on the other side of that? That deep detox process.
Something they would have never imagined. Like, it's something you cannot imagine.
Yeah.
And you have to see for yourself. For me, it was pure magic what came. Pure magic. Yeah. Like, literally, like hearing the birds is pure magic to me. Like, it has this magic to it.
Yeah.
It's like a powder that's like, bling, like there's something about it, something not physical. And expect amazing relationships with your loved ones. Expect helping a lot of people because now you know how it feels like to go through something like that. And now you can actually understand people that are in that place, but you are out of it, so you can actually know how to help them. And that is gold. Wow. Like I said, the only thing that really helps is having someone that understands and gets you out, like gives you this ability to, you basically have, you can see it, like the picture that I always have about it is when you have a deep hole, people are sometimes actually at the bottom of the hole, and you're not pulling them out because that would be too heavy. And it would be too long. What you're actually doing is you're building a ladder for them, and they can climb it themselves. So but that's just on a side note. To answer your question, it's different for everyone, and you'd have to see for yourself. Like, there's nothing as magical as actually experiencing it for yourself. It's not something I can explain. It's only something you can take a look at and see, like, oh my God, wow. And whatever is true for you will be true for you in that moment, right? That's why I said, like, answer the question. That'd be something way more valuable than just me telling you how you should feel or how you will feel, or fairy tale stories about my own life. Look at it yourself and you'll see it. It's not that hard, but you need to be willing to look at it.
It's that's the beautiful part. I think we look at the chaos and don't try to enjoy the journey of it. I mean, the journey is it's not sweet. Let's be honest. The journey is not, it's painful, a lot of sleepless nights. But then I think on the other side of that, as far as we hope, we're just like, I know I'm going to be a way better individual on the other side.
Yeah.
Carlijn. All right, listen. Before we finish our brew, we're going to do a quick espresso shot round. This is our tradition. Let's get the energy pumping. Let's get the blood rushing. All right, for the espresso shot round, no overthinking. No overthinking at all. All right, just gut reaction. Just the first thing that comes to your mind. All right, this is going to be a this or that. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, here we go. A 5 a.m. cold plunge or a 9 a.m. slow wake up?
5 a.m. cold plunge.
A high-tech biohacking lab or a quiet cabin in the woods?
Quiet cabin in the woods.
Deep silent meditation or a loud badass workout?
Both.
If you had to pick one, though. If you had to pick one. No cop-outs. No cop-outs.
Meditation.
A scientific medical journal or a book on ancient spirituality? Just one.
Let's do science, because at least I can, so.
One magic pill that fixes everything or a lifelong journey of evolution?
Lifelong journey of evolutions.
Two more. A productive to-do list or an empty open calendar?
Productive to-do list.
Last one. A one-on-one heart-to-heart or leading a room full of women?
Ooh.
Only one.
One-on-one heart-to-heart in a room full of women.
No, you can't do that. That's cheating. Come on. All right. Oh, well, that was the espresso shot. Well, I'll give you that. I'll grant you that. Okay, I'll grant you.
I don't
that.
like
one-on-one. Oh man, yes, that was the espresso shot. That was fun.
I love it.
It's clear that the new Carlijn has a much better sense of humor than the medical student version of herself, right?
Oh yes, I'm very serious.
But as we reach the bottom of our cups, I want to bring it back to the person who's listening right now. They might be where you were 3 years ago. They might be sitting in that isolation, feeling like they've lost their joy and wondering if, removing is even possible for them. If you could go back to that version of yourself, the lonely medical student, who felt lost and essentially felt miserable, and give her one piece of advice that she could start using today to remove what's not hers, what would you tell her?
You're good.
You're good.
And anything that's not good is not you.
Short, sweet, simple. Carlijn, I just want to thank you for being so open and authentic with us, and reminding us that sometimes that, the most badass thing that we can do for our health is to simply let go. It's essential, For the women listening who want to deep dive into your world and find your protocols, and maybe it's in a room full of them, or just one-on-one, and they want to connect with you, with that Superwoman community. Where's the best place that they can reach out to you to get connected with you?
So you can reach out to me on any social media platform. I'm especially active on Instagram and LinkedIn. So you can also reach out to me on TikTok if that's your preference. My name is my full name on any of these platforms. And I always respond, so really feel free to send me any message. And you can also find some information on my website. But I highly recommend that if you want to do work with me, you just send me a message, and we'll look into your thing together. And I'll know better how to help you with the information that you're giving me. So that would be the best way to actually have me to help you. And otherwise, you can just go to my socials and you'll find information there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, you heard it from her yourself. Thank you so much again, Carlijn, for joining me today. And to you, the listeners, thank you for spending this time with us. If you're feeling lost and lonely, like Carlijn once did, just remember that your healing doesn't always require a new to-do list. Sometimes it's just about clearing away the noise until you find you again. Take a breath, take a sip, and be kind to you. We'll see you on the next time on the Chronic Brew Podcast. Take it easy. Peace.
Bye.